Hello my friend, today we are going on our series about international commercial terms, or we can say Incoterms 2020 and we will learn each of rules one by one. And let's look what we learned today. Today I would like to talk to you about free carrier. Incoterms has 11 kinds of trade rules, and free carrier means that the seller delivers the goods to the carrier or another person nominated by the buyer at the seller's premises or another named place. Hey, my name is Murat. Welcome to my channel, where I help you start and grow your international business, make more money, save more time, and help more people too. If you are new here or haven't subscribed yet, so make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification for more great quality content on the import and export business and change your life. So make sure thumbs up to this video here on YouTube. It helps the video to reach more people. Thanks again, let's get started. My video is divided into 6 sections. To begin with the definition of Incoterm Free Carrier. Following that, I will give you an explanation of the FCA term. Next, I'm going to talk about what are the buyers and sellers' responsibilities with the free carrier agreement. Then I will show you when to use an FCA rule. And finally, I will give my advice. By the end of the video, you will know free carrier well and understand how FCA works. Okay, let's start with the definition of Incoterm Free Carrier. The FCA Incoterm is an agreement that means free carrier, where the seller's obligations are to deliver the cargo to an agreed-upon port known as the named place. The seller is responsible for exporting the shipment and all steps before that. The buyer assumes the responsibility for the cargo once they are ready to be loaded onto the carrier. FCA can be used for any form of transport, such as air freight, sea freight, road freight, and rail freight. This Incoterm provides the buyer with flexibility, as they can arrange carriage frequently at a better price than what their seller might quote, while the buyer assumes all risks and responsibilities once the goods reach the point of export. FCA enables the buyer to step takeover after the cargo has been exported, which can be a risky and tedious process for some products. So, that completes the definition of Incoterms Free Carrier. Let's move on to an explanation of the FCA term. In an FCA transaction, the seller could be involved in actual movement of the cargo up to a certain point. This point could be the warehouse of the carrier, the warehouse of the buyer's agent, the port or a terminal in the port, or any other location agreed between the buyer and seller. Right, so now we have come to the sellers and buyers' responsibilities in an FCA transaction. Let's explore the seller's responsibilities under an FCA agreement. Under FCA Incoterms, the seller must handle the full export process for the products they are selling. Once the cargo is ready to be loaded onto the vessel, responsibility transfers to the buyer. Here, I have listed the full responsibilities of the seller. Export packaging. The cargo must be packaged for export. Some countries have unique requirements for how products must be exported. This can include specific markings on the packaging or types of packaging. The party responsible for this aspect must ensure the packaging is by export regulations. Loading charges. As the cargo leaves the seller's location, these are any costs associated with loading the cargo onto the first carrier to transport the goods to the export location. Delivery to port or place. Once the cargo loads onto the truck, these are the charges associated with transporting the goods from the seller's location to the defined port or place where the cargo will be exported. In most instances, the port or place would be a seaport, airport, or rail port. Export duty, taxes, and customs clearance. The costs and responsibilities associated with formally exporting the cargo from the origin country. This could include customs examinations, pre-shipment inspection, or any special clearance required to export the cargo. These responsibilities entirely fall on the seller. When trading under the FCA Incoterm, it would be considered a breach of the purchase agreement if a seller were to request compensation from any of these responsibilities. When a seller is quoting a price to the buyer, the fee will include the costs for the seller to fulfill these duties. Once these responsibilities have been met, the cargo can be transferred to the buyer. All risks associated with the following steps of the logistic process will fall upon the buyer. Okay, let's discover the buyer's responsibilities in an FCA transaction. When the cargo clears customs and arrives at the named place, the risk transfers to the buyer. Here are the responsibilities buyer must fulfill to conclude the logistics process. Origin terminal charges. Any costs or requirements associated with the shipping terminal where the cargo loads onto the designated vessel for the main portion of the transportation process. Loading on carriage. For the cargo to be loaded onto the carriage, a loading charge is required by the shipping line. Carriage charges. This is the freight charge when moving the cargo from the port of origin to the port of destination. Insurance. While insurance is not an obligation, it becomes the buyer's responsibility to determine if they would like to obtain an insurance policy. Destination terminal charges. Once the cargo has arrived at the port of destination, any terminal charges associated with unloading, transferring, and holding the load as it awaits the formal import process. Delivery to destination. Transporting the cargo from the port of destination to the buyer's requested delivery destination. Unloading at destination. Any costs associated with unloading the cargo at the buyer's requested delivery destination. Import duty, taxes, and customs clearance. The costs and responsibilities associated with importing the goods fall on the buyer. In the event of any examinations, duty, taxes, or other requests made by customs authorities must be fulfilled or compensated by the buyer. Okay, I have explained what are the buyer's and seller's responsibilities with the free carrier agreement. Now I would like to discuss when to use an FCA agreement. The only time a buyer would want to consider FCA is if most of following parameters can be met. Number 1, the cargo they are shipping is containerized. Number 2, they have existing knowledge of the logistic process and requirements in the seller's country, or they are using a shipping service. Number 3, their seller equally prefers FCA over FAS or FOB. And lastly, number 4, the cargo is being transported directly to the terminal for export and not to the shipping service provider's warehouse. If these 4 conditions can be met, FCA is a viable option to consider as an Incoterm. The point of delivery needs to be expressly discussed and agreed upon between the buyer and the seller as the risk passes from the seller to the buyer at that point. All the before mentioned delivery points are at the origin and out of the control of the buyer, and therefore the buyer must take due precautions when buying on FCA. That brings me to the end of my video. I hope you are a little clearer on Incoterms Free Carrier. Thank you very much for being here. Next videos in this series, I will share with you the Incoterms 2020 rules one by one. And if you want to learn more detailed about the Incoterms 2020 rules, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification. I have some good stuff over here you can watch and learn more about international trade and business. Keep going, take care, bye.